cash a meal. And do it through the pain, I don't need a pain. And life gon' get me down, but it won't break my will. Cause I've been chasing this so long, I can't give up. I won't give in, been through too much. I done prayed for the money, I done prayed for the fame. I done prayed that I will make a sacrifice and play this game. I done prayed that my life would never be the same. I done prayed that I will make it bring glory to my name.
Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the NFL coverage. We have an exciting episode going on. Before we get into that, this episode is brought to you by Final Form Supplements. Final Form Supplements is a supplement brand where you can go if you're just an average everyday person and wanting to better your health and better yourself, or if you're a hardcore gym rat really trying to get after those gains. We got everything for you. This featured product is our nootropics. We have it nootropics brain and focus formula that we have at Final Form Supplements. Again, this supplement is it's basically a multivitamin for your brain. Helps with focus, clarity, just being zoned in into whatever you're doing. I take them before I go to campus. Just one serving a day, but primarily in the morning before I go to campus, or if I know I'm not going to do anything on campus, I'll take them before I have to go do something to think, or before video games. Really, anything you're going to use your mind for, you can really take them. I love taking them. I've been taking it for about a month now, and I'm just loving it. So I'm definitely going to add it to my routine. Anyway, Final Form Supplements, go to Final Form Subs, that's SUPPS.com. FinalFormSubs.com and use promo code CoachStrib, all caps, no space, to get 10% off your order. Bam. And I love this nootropic stuff because I do a lot of, people that don't know, I do a lot of my podcasting and stuff off the top. I don't have a script, so a lot of it is just freestyle, and this stuff really helps. Now, getting straight into the NFL coverage from week 5 of the NFL. We're just going to go down the list and get going. So, Bears Commander, Chicago gets another dub. Another dub. Chicago gets their first dub against the Washington Commanders. Remember, I saying last week that this was a must-win for Chicago in order to kind of try to rally and get their season going in terms of getting on the winning side of football. And they finally get the dub, pretty dominating dub, 40-20. Justin Fields looks good out there, and they get a dub over a team that's an average, decently average team. They're 2-3. They were 2-2 at the time. But Chicago gets their first dub, and now I want to see if they can start stacking wins together or go on a run of wins to kind of get back on the other side of it. Commanders take the L, 40-20. Jacksonville Jaguars and the Buffalo Bills. Again, an interesting game I mentioned last week where I can see the Jacksonville winning just because of being at an advantage of not traveling back to America. They're going back to them. They stayed in London. And I did point out last week that I thought that was going to play to their advantage, so I could see Jacksonville taking the dub. And they do. They beat the Buffalo Bills 25-20 in a pretty interesting upset because I believe the Bills were a good favorite to win that game. Now, again, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're that team. I kind of don't know where they're at yet. I don't want to say it's too early to tell. Like, they're pretty good, but I don't know, like, what level they are. Like, I don't even know what tier to put them in, but we'll see as we moving forward. They're 3-2. Bills are 3-2, and that was a good win for Jacksonville. Miami Dolphins and the New York Giants. I thought this was going to go worse than it did, but Miami got the dub pretty well, 31-16. The Giants are 1-4, and it's just not looking too good for the Giants. I believe Tyrod Taylor came in because, Daniel Jones only had like 110 passing yards. It just wasn't a good look. But, Miami Dolphins, again, they're continue to win. Even though they got that one loss in there, they're still continuing to win, and they're doing it in dominant fashion as the season goes on, and their defense looked pretty good out there this past season. Patriots, Saints, pretty lopsided win. Shutout. The Saints win 34-0. Saints move to 3-2, and the Saints defense, like I said earlier in the year, they're a good defense. They're just struggling on getting things going on offense. Like I've pretty much been saying, week by week, their games have been close games. Their defense looks good. It's just their offense is just not producing at the level it needs to, and they find a way to get it done on both sides of the field. They gave up 0 touchdowns against the Patriots, and they not only that, but then they dropped 34 points on the Patriots. And Derek Carr had 2 passing touchdowns, 183 yards. Alvin Kamara, 22 carries for 80 with a touchdown. Michael Thomas, 4 catches, 65 yards. Miller, 53 yards. So it was a pretty well-rounded by committee for the Saints. Now, moving on. Ravens and Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers defense comes up clutch. They have a really solid defense, and the Steelers are kind of in the same boat as the Saints, where their defense is what's carrying them this season, and their offense, every now their offense does the wins they get, the offense does just enough to get them the win. But it's really been their defense has been the unsung hero or the highly sung hero for these teams like the Saints and the Steelers. Steelers moved to 3-2. Ravens dropped or moved to 3-2 as well. Steelers only scored 17 points, but again, they got it done. And Lamar Jackson didn't throw any touchdowns and threw an interception. Pickett's 224 passing touchdown and running by committee. So the Steelers get it done. Panthers, Detroit, pretty dominant win for Panthers. Now, remember I said Detroit's here. I said this early on. We could see Detroit is a good team this year. They're continuing to prove that. They go to 4-1. They won 42-24. Panthers move to 0-6. Excuse me, not 0-6. Sorry, Panthers move to 0-5. But Bryce Young, he's not playing bad. I don't want to say he's playing great. He's not playing bad. He threw 2 interceptions, but had 3 passing touchdowns, 247 yards. And their running backs by committee between Sanders, Hubbard, and Chenault. I don't know how to say his last name. Adam Thielen had 11 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown. Clark had 42 for a tutty, and Mingo had 48, no tutty. So offensively, they're a decent. I believe they're a decent team offensively, and Bryce Young has been playing pretty well for it to be his first year. His passer rating 777, which is actually a pretty good passer rating. I want to find the average passer rating for you guys. Average QBR, I should say. Average QBR in the NFL. So the average QBR in the NFL is 50. He's at a 77. So, above average. But obviously they're going to have to find a way to play good ball on both sides of the field, offense and defense. They're kind of shaping up. Carolina's kind of shaping up to be kind of like the Houston Texans, where their offense, what's his name? CJ Stroud has been playing phenomenal individually, but they just can't get the defense and the offense to work together in unison. And they look good as a team. It feels like they're getting better, but yet their win-loss column doesn't show it because at the end of the day, they're giving up a lot of points on defense. But anyway, moving forward, we had the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons. And again, just like we talked about, Houston gets another L. They move to 2-3. Falcons move to 3-1. But CJ Stroud sets the NFL record by throwing 177 passing attempts without an interception to start a career. So he's starting his season off great. He hasn't thrown any interceptions. He's making, I don't want to say good decisions, but he's playing well individually. He had 249 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. Bryce, and had also a rushing touchdown. So he's getting it done on the ground and on the floor. But they're just not getting it done on both sides of the field. Now, Atlanta Falcons, where's his name? Robinson had Ritter had a rushing touchdown. But Robinson had a phenomenal play, but he only had 46 rushing. He had a phenomenal behind the back catch play. Anyway, Ritter had 329 passing yards and 1 passing touchdown. So the Atlanta was able to find a dub over a struggling Houston Texans. So we'll move on. There's not much to really talk about there. And of course, the Tennessee Titans. We take another L to the Colts, 23-16. It's looking like the division for the Titans and the Colts and such. It's going to come down to pretty much the Colts and Jacksonville Jaguars. That division is Titans, Houston, Jacksonville and the Colts. It looks like it's going to come down to the Colts or Jacksonville because Titans take a L. I thought we were going to keep our offensive consistency rolling like we did last week where we were really getting the ball to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry had 13 carries. And for those of y'all that aren't big Titans fans, whenever Derrick Henry gets the ball 20, 25, almost 30 times, when he touches the ball 30 times a game, usually that correlates to Titans winning. He only got 13 touches. He got 3 catches. So a total of 16 total touches. And with the way our offense is structured, that's just, we got to get the ball to Derrick Henry in the run game more often, more consistently, really hone on that run game, make the opposing team load the box to honor the run, and that's going to open up your passing game. Now, what I will say, that boy D-Hop had a game. He had 8 catches, 140 yards, no tutties, but D-Hop is out there looking like prime D-Hop. So that are some good things you could take away from this, to where if they can find a way to get the passing game going at the same time the run game's going, I truly believe Titans could be can make a deep run into the playoffs with the defense they have. And if you can have D-Hop just killing them in the air and Derrick Henry killing them on the ground, and as long as you just have Ryan Tannehill just playing within the system, you don't even have to ask him to go make the plays. You don't have to ask him to do all this, do all that. You got a playmaker in D-Hop. You got a playmaker in Derrick Henry. And you just need Ryan Tannehill to just play within the system, throw your check downs. Don't try to force it through. Throw your check downs, play safe, conservative ball. I think if you have that, with that defense, Titans can make a deep run into the playoffs. That's all I'm saying. Now, Tannehill did have 264 yards, but he threw an interception, no passing touchdowns. So it's continued to be our quarterback play for the Titans that's leaving us to be, not where we want to be. Now, Bengals finally get another dub. They finally get another dub. We've been a minute because I believe they won their first game and then they've lost since then. But 34-20 against the Cardinals, and this looks like the Bengals team we're used to. Joe Burrow, 317 yards, 3 passing touchdowns, threw an interception, and that boy Jamar Chase, 15 catches, 192 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. That boy was a monster. And then you also have Mixon with 25 carries, 81 yards. And Burrow had 4 rushes for 7. Scramble and stuff. The Cincinnati looks good. And the Cardinals, I don't know what's going on with the Cardinals. Because, that's right, Kyler Murray is not playing. They got Josh Dobbs. So, Cardinals, we'll just have to let them develop. Because I don't know when Kyler Murray is supposed to be coming back. But anyway, I don't have time for that. Eagles, Rams, nothing new there. Now, Cooper Kupp I believe this is Cooper Kupp's first game back in the season. And he looked phenomenal. 8 catches, 118 yards. Nothing new there. And then Nakua, I believe that's his last name, is 71 yards and a tutty. So there are some bright spots to look at for the Rams moving forward now that Cooper Kupp is back. But Philadelphia gets that dub. Jalen Hurts, 303 yards, a touchdown. He also threw an interception. 72 rushing yards as well with a rushing touchdown. That boy, A.J. Downtown Brown, 6 catches, 127 yards. And then you had Goldert, 117. So 2 people with over 115 receiving yards. So, Jalen Hurts can get the ball to just about anybody. Now, Chiefs, Vikings. Chiefs take the dub 27-20. Vikings go to 1-4. So now you got this weird dynamic with the Vikings because you have probably arguably the best receiver on their roster, but yet they're not getting dubs. It's not translating to dubs. And I believe he got hurt. I believe he got hurt in that game, or towards the end with a hamstring injury. Patrick Mahomes, 2 passing touchdowns, 281 yards. Travis Kelce, 10 catches, 67. Kirk Cousins, 2 passing touchdowns, 284. Justin Jefferson got hurt. He only had 3 catches for 28 yards. So we'll see how the Vikings play out. It might just end up being like one of those years where they just have a great talented team and it just goes to waste for some reason. Now we got Jets, Broncos. Jets get a dub. Not only that, but they score 31 points. So I think it might be. Here's what I'll say about the Jets. It's too early. I'm not going to say that Zach Wilson. I'm not going to say he's back. Back's not even the word because he was never here. I don't want to say that he is starting to play better because he did have 199 yards, but he threw an interception, no pass touchdowns. But they got their running game going to take the pressure off of him. So he had Hall had 22 carries for 177 yards and a tutty. And like I've been saying, even though the offense has been struggling to produce this year, that defense has been holding them down. And again, they showed up by holding their opponent to 21 points to the Denver Broncos. Now, Denver Broncos, we have Russell Wilson, 196 yards, 2 pass touchdowns, no interceptions. So again, it's like, that's not a bad stat line for Russell Wilson. Now, granted, we might have to ask for and he have passer rating or QBR or whatever of 78, which is pretty good. I don't think that Russell Wilson is the problem when it comes to the Broncos. That'd be a scapegoat if, say, bench him or get rid of him because he himself is playing significantly better than he was last year. Now, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers. This was an absolute embarrassment. San Francisco 49ers just looked like they were just getting everything they wanted. That was a Dallas defense that we aren't used to seeing. Busted calls here, like missed assignments there, missing tackles. I don't want to say effort wasn't there because their defense looked like they were playing hard if you're watching the game. I saw Michael Parsons, he wasn't really doing much in terms of production, but the effort was there. My man was going full tilt. He was scrambling, running around, but it was just a lack of chemistry, man, a lack of focus from the defense as a whole. But not only that, but the offense was putting the defense in tough situations, I will say. Dak Prescott threw 3 interceptions. When you're a defense and you throw 3 interceptions, or when you're offense, you throw 3 interceptions, you're putting your defense in terrible field position. You're putting your defense in shortened rest time. Then you can't control the ball. Now the opposing team is controlling the time of possession, and they're going all the way down the field, wearing out the defense. Defense finally gets off, and then next thing you know, you're 3 and out, you throw an interception, defense is back on, and they're exhausted. That's an exhausting series or exhausting game for defense. But for now, I will say I think everybody's going a bit extreme with talking about maybe they should be part ways with Dak. Let's calm down, okay? It was one game. The Dallas Cowboys are still a good team this year. Will they make Super Bowl? I don't know. Probably not. Only one team wins. I can say probably not to all 32 teams, and I'll be right 31 out of 32, right? So I think this is a big over-exaggeration. I think they were just out-coached, out-focused, and I think they're going to continue to win games this year. And I think by playoffs, hopefully they're playing better ball, or they're playing their best ball, because they've been playing good ball. But when they play against these good, great teams, then that's when it's been kind of iffy. But I think they're going to play a lot more consistent down the road. And then Packers, Raiders get the dub late against the Packers. What's his name? Garoppolo, 208 yards. 1 pass touchdown, 1 interception. Jacobs, 20 carries, 69 yards, and a tutty. Devontae Adams, 4 catches, 45 yards. Myers, 7 catches, 75 yards, and a tutty. I think for Vegas to be successful, they got to start doing what Packers did. And when in doubt, just throw it to Devontae Adams. You just got to force him the ball because he's probably going to catch it, and he's probably going to make a play 9 times out of 10. So I think they got to find a way to probably be a little more biased towards Devontae Adams and give him the ball more. And it sounds bad saying force it to him, because usually that's never a good idea. But when you got a talent like Devontae Adams, you force it to him. The reason why Justin Jefferson's so good is when Kirk Cousins is in doubt, he just knows he can just throw it that way, and it's going to be what it is. It's the same argument people had when Tyreek Hill was leaving Kansas City, and they were saying Tyreek Hill was Mahomes' bailout. Whenever Mahomes was feeling pressure, whenever Mahomes he wasn't sure, yada, yada, just throw it to Tyreek Hill, force it to him, he's going to make a play. So that same argument, but I feel like in this situation, just do it a little more. Don't overdo it, but do it a little more. All right, now moving to week 6, games we're interested in seeing. We got Denver, Chiefs. I'm not really interested in Denver Chiefs. I think Chiefs probably take that one pretty easily. Then you got Baltimore Ravens, Titans, and London. I'm going to take the Titans on that, even though Baltimore is a 4.5-point favorite. And I was going to say I'm not taking the Titans. I'm not saying that just because I'm a Titans fan. I think Titans are actually going to win. But it's part of me is saying because I'm a Titans fan. But I do actually think Titans are going to win. I'm pretty realistic. If Titans was playing Miami, I would not take the Titans. I'd put money on Miami. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. I actually think Titans will be a good underdog bet if you want to go for that one. Simply because I think that Baltimore's offense is not as explosive as people think it is. And I think the Titans' defense is a good matchup for the Ravens. And that's why I'm going to take Titans on that. Commanders, Falcons. I'll take Falcons. Not really interested in that. San Francisco 49ers, Browns. I would be interested with that if Nick Chubb was playing. But I do believe the Browns have a top-tier defense. Let me double-check for you guys. They have the number one defense in the NFL. So I'm kind of interested to see how that defense plays out with the San Francisco 49ers. I'm still gonna go 49ers, but I would not be surprised if it was a low-scoring game and the Browns do just enough to get the dub there. They are first in total yards, first in passing yards, fourth in rushing, tied for second in points, and first and third down conversions. And you guys are going to hear me say this all the time. The two biggest factors to determine whether a team is going to win the game or not is winning the turnover margin, so getting turnovers from your defense and not turning it over in your offense, and getting off the field, third down conversions. If you're on offense, third down, convert. If you're on defense, stop them, get off the field. Third down conversions and the takeaway margin. You win those two things, you have a 90+% chance of winning the game. And because they are first in third down percentage, I think the Browns could shape out to be a pretty good match for San Francisco 49ers. That's easily said because obviously they're 2-2. If that was the case, they'd be more. But that is because a big majority of their offense, Nick Chubb is hurt. But that I'm kind of interested for that game just a little bit. Saints, Texans. I'm actually interested in this one because I'm interested to see how the Saints defense performs against the Houston Texans. And I think this is going to be the first real test for C.J. Stroud. I think C.J. Stroud, if he can go out and score 24, 28, 30-plus points on this same defense, I think C.J. Stroud probably has a good chance of just being a stellar, explosive, exciting player to watch. Not saying he isn't now, but, you know, it's a different level when you can do that against such an elite defense in the Saints. And I just want to look at something real quick. Yeah, so the Saints is the third as of week 5 going into week 6, they are the third-ranked defense for the Saints. Panthers, Dolphins. I'm going to go Dolphins, nothing new there. Seahawks, Bengals. I'm interested for this one simply because I want to see if the Bengals can get another win. I'm interested to see them kind of start writing their story, a comeback story, because I always like to look for those comeback stories, those dark horse stories, the Cinderella stories. I always love looking at those because, for example, my favorite team is the 2020 Bucks. I believe Brady's first year at the Bucks, because when they won that Super Bowl, that first half of the season, they did not look very good. It was rough for them. They had a bye week. They came back after the bye week, and then they went on a run to win the Super Bowl, and they figured it out. I love those stories. Like it's cool when a team goes undefeated and then wins Super Bowl, or a team that loses 1 or 2 games and then wins Super Bowl. It's kind of expected, but I love watching underdogs or people that start off as underdogs and turn into favorites. It's just more exciting for me. So, not saying that the Bengals are going to turn out to be a Super Bowl contending team. Talent-wise, they are, because they were there not that long ago, or they were there that long ago. Anyway, my point is I just interested to see if they can start stringing together wins to get back on the positive side of football. Colts, Jaguars. I'm interested in this one just because this is a division game, and whoever wins this will be the front runner for the AFC South. Right now, Jacksonville is at 3-2. Colts are second. Whoever wins this one will obviously become first, and then that directly affects my Titans. So I am interested to see that game. As far as who wins, I actually think Jacksonville Jaguars take this one. Vikings, Bears. Again, I'm interested in this one simply because I want to see if the Bears can string together another win over the Vikings. And then we'll see if the Vikings can get something going with that offense. Next, Patriots, Raiders. I think I'm somewhat interested in this simply because I think this is a must-win for the Patriots. I think if the Patriots lose, ooh, excuse me, sorry, I've been sneezing all day. It's allergy season. Anyway, I think this is a must-win for the Patriots because they'll drop to 1-5, and I think it's going to be a big ego killer if the Patriots take this L against the Raiders. So I think I'm interested to see if the Patriots can get that dub. Then Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Ooh, I think this is a good one. I think this is going to be a good game. Detroit's first in the NFC North. Bucs are first in the NFC South. The Bucs, they had a bye week this past week, but the Bucs they're playing well. They have one loss, and Baker Mayfield has been playing phenomenal. Hopefully, I don't know if Mike Evans is going to be back, but he's been playing phenomenal as well. And then that Bucs defense just looks really good. So I'm actually interested to see this one, to see how that the Detroit Lions offense can perform against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense. Cardinals, Rams, don't really care. Jets, Eagles, I'm kind of interested just to see how the Eagles do against the Jets defense. Because the Jets defense has been what's been keeping them somewhat into the conversation. But I'm just interested to see how the Eagles do against the Jets defense. And then Bills, Giants, not so much. Cowboys, Chargers. The only reason why I'm interested in Cowboys, Chargers is because Cowboys had a very embarrassing loss this past week. And this next game it's like, I feel like for the Dallas Cowboys, this next game, all chips are on the table. It's not. Dallas Cowboys can obviously lose this next game and then win out the rest of the season, and it doesn't really matter. But for it being in the moment right here, right now, I believe this is like all chips are on the table, because if you have that embarrassing loss and you come out and you lose to the Chargers, who are 2-2, an average team right now, then I feel like it's a big confidence booster. Maybe that might create some internal turmoil within the team. And, the media's already throwing Dak's name through the ground right now, which, I don't like to see. But I'm interested in that game because Dallas has to have a comeback win. Not only a comeback win, but this win needs to be the best ball they've played this year. It needs to be the offense firing on all cylinders and the defense firing on all cylinders. Like we said earlier, I was still skeptical or suspicious of the Dallas's offense, which this past game kind of showed my skepticism, because the reason why they were so good and winning a lot in the beginning is because their defense is what was putting their offense in positions to where we can't lose. Like, you'd have to try to lose this game the way their defense is performing. Now, when they get into a game to where the offense has to carry their weight, they don't. This is exactly what I was talking about in episode 1 and 2, to where they're leaning so heavy on their defense to where their offense is almost like their offense uses their defense as a crutch, to where their offense themselves aren't going to be able or don't have the confidence or the ability or the experience to make the play for themselves or help the defense out by doing whatever they need to do when the defense is hurting. So I think this needs to be a complete full around game. Dak needs to come out, have a good game, no interceptions. The run game needs to be on point. The pass game needs to be on point. Defense needs to go after and get it, and I believe the defense will. I've seen interviews with Micah Parsons, and I know that he seems like the kind of guy that loss hurt him. So I think this next game, he's going to come out and be an absolute savage on the field. And that's what I'm looking forward to week 6. Again, this has been another episode of the NFL Coverage. I appreciate you guys for listening. I'll catch you guys next week.
Destiny, I'm gonna chase my